What up? What's going on? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Foxing Around podcast. I'm your host, Shalen Fox.
I'm your co-host, River Thomas.
Hey, we got another exciting episode here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be joined by our brother, Shalen Fox, in a short few minutes. Looking forward to that. Got a few announcements, I guess. First things first, if you guys could go check out Chase the Ace Treaty 6. Both me and River's communities are partnered in with this. What they're doing is they sell 50-50 tickets. I believe 20% goes to the overall prize, 30% goes to the weekly prize, and then 50% goes back into the Chase the Ace Treaty 6. There's 5 communities involved, and they're all raising money for youth programming. The jackpot is at like $90,000 right now, so anybody that's 18 years old or older can buy a ticket. And you got to be Canadian, I think, is the only other thing. So I just wanted to give that a quick plug because my boy Nathan asked me to, and who doesn't love supporting the youth? Am I right? Facts. Let's go. Oh, my mic is cracking. Hold up. Let's see what's up.
It's my turn to carry the show while Ray fixes his mic. Bro, I threw on the Pens jersey today. Shalen wanted to see it. I know it's always in the background, but the boys are on a tear, man. They just signed Jeff Carter. They just lost today, but whatever. They're in a good playoff spot. And I remember looking at the EA SHL power rankings earlier in the year, and they said the Penguins weren't even making the playoffs, bro. But Crosby and Malkin aren't done. They have a bunch of young talent with them. It's a fast team, bro. They're going to playoffs.
Yep, reminds me of our – oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, and they're the only team in the modern history to do a repeat, bro. That's goated.
Yeah, bro, they kind of remind me of the Sweetgrass Striker soccer team with Shalen at the helm. We're never going to be too out of it, man.
Bro, Shalen can do everything, bro.
Bro, everything. I can't wait to interview him, bro. We're just going to hype him up here a little bit quicker. I'm trying to think of – there was another announcement that I had to do, but I forget. Oh, I'd also like to send out my condolences to my brother Jamie, Jameson, Nicholas, and Desi on the loss of their mother, man. That can't be overstated, man. My heart's with you guys, man. Sending all the love and prayers I can out there to Mosquito First Nation, man. That one's deep, so much love to my brothers Juice, Jigsaw, and their brothers as well too, man. But show's got to go on. Let's roll. Let's rock. I think we're ready to bring them in, man. The man, the myth, the legend. Man, I got so many stories about Shalen. You guys will probably hear most of them. Forgive us if we joke around a little bit too much, and because that's just our nature. But this guy, man, he's helped me out of some of the darkest places I've ever been in. He's always been there to guide me, hold me down, and he's just a great guy, man, with a great story. I know we're gonna get into it like crazy. So without further ado, man, we'll introduce Mr. Shalen Fox. What's up, brother?
How's it going, boys?
Hey, we're good.
Bro, it's going.
Good to be on the show. I love the Malkin jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's my Russian goat.
Yeah, he's good. 6'4".
6'4", just like me.
Yeah, hands are soft. Vision is elite.
Yeah, bro, that's the thing about Malkin too is when he first started playing, he was really short. He was very, very undersized. Yeah. So the one thing that he did is he played to his strengths. He got really good hands. He worked on his stick handling and his skating, and then one day he just hit a growth spurt, and that's the goal you see today, man. A 6'4" dude with hands.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thank you guys for joining us, man. If you guys could do us a quick favor, give us a like, give this video a share. Let's get it out there. Let's get into it. Shalen, bro, I know you're teaching right now still. You're still doing a little bit of your work. What's it been like with COVID, bro? Like, I see you still kind of staying active, getting out there, doing your thing. But has it been tough for you, or like you adapting pretty well?
You know what? When COVID first hit us, when we were shut down in March, there, I was scared to go out. I was scared to go outside. That was the honest truth, just because you didn't know what was going on. I think I had about 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, and then and I was like, I can't mentally do this anymore. I couldn't stay home. I just live by myself too, so it's that was a tough 3 week stretch, hey. And then I started running. I got back into running when it was warm. So then exercising was that was my outlet. That's always been my outlet. So going back into exercising, and then golf was able to open up, and I love to golf too. So I was able to go out and golf, and then slowly went back into work. And so things have just opened up in different ways in my life, first of all. So would I say COVID affected me? Yeah, it has, but it also made me better. So I see the positives in it. Yeah.
Hey, man. That's amazing comments that you must get all the time. And, just seeing those is like, damn, man, your impact is a lot. Your reach is huge. Why don't you set the backstory for it's kind of gonna be weird for me to interview you because I know your story and I know where you come from and stuff like that. But it's such a good story of like perseverance, and I'm excited for you to tell it. So maybe you could just talk a little bit about like when you grew up and like how you grew up, bro. Because I know you had some struggles, and what you saw early on was something that stuck with you later. So maybe just set the background for how you grew up, bro.
Yeah, grew up in the Balfords. This is home. I'm the oldest of five. My mom is from Sweetgrass, and my dad is out from Wichigan. So they were married when we were younger. They got divorced. I don't know when. I was a teenager, maybe somewhere in there. But he was always in. They were both in addiction when I was young. I remember that. Then my mom quit one cold turkey one New Year's Eve. Man, my mom must be close to 30 years sober, I want to say. And I think how it happened for her was Christmas. There was no Christmas tree, no presents, no nothing. And my mom and my aunties, they said, we can't. Well, my mom said, I can't do this anymore, and my auntie Galen also confirmed it too a couple weeks ago too. This couldn't do that anymore. Not having, I don't remember the no presents though. I remember the following year, all of the presents. So, but yeah, I don't remember that, but bounced around from Battleford to Sweetgrass out to Wichigan. I remember living in Prince Albert. This was all before I was age 5. So I kind of remember those little parts. My dad was always into drinking. Still struggles with it today. My mom is sober, so I see both stems of it. But yeah, I grew up in Balford. It was when my mom quit drinking. She's a teenage mother. She was 17 when I was born, so that was kind of young. And then she never graduated school. I remember we lived with my auntie Galen in a 2-bedroom apartment on Winder Street, and my auntie had one room and we had the other one. My mom had a bed. My sister, my brother, and I slept in the closet on the floor on blankets. So I remember that. And then it was tough. Those are the memories that I remember. So it's not something. Oh, Brody, hello, Brody. Those are something that I always truly remember, and then it's always they're always with me. I'm never gonna forget where I was from. So yeah, then and then I just grew up. Sports was my outlet. I always loved sports, man. We were just talking about this with the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm gonna get a Roberto Alomar jersey. He was one of my favorite baseball players when they won the 92, 93, like a World Series casino, or like the casino. I just seen something there. Yeah. So Yeah, sports has always been something that was we weren't the richest. So how I started playing sports was we played house league. I remember that. But how I started playing soccer. I always grew up playing soccer in our backyard with our family, so I always knew how to play soccer.
Oh yeah.
I played house league a couple times. How I got on the developmental team was me and Corey Bugler. He was trying out. We were in school together, and he was trying out for Battleford Stingers. I don't know what they're called. Spurs, I think. Yeah, and I went to his tryout and I watched because he would stay at my house because he was living in the reserve. So transportation, he was active, and they started the scrimmage and they needed a goalie in the other side of the net. And the coach said, "Hey, you want to jump in net?" And I said, "Sure, I'll just jump in net." And diving around and playing. And then he came up to me after it and he said, "Hey, do you want to play on the soccer team?" And I was like, "We don't have any money. I can't play." And he's like, "Hey, don't even worry about that." And to this day, I don't know how it was covered, but I was able to play. So I played a couple of years like that. And then high school sports, it was free. So I was able to play high school sports. Hockey, I loved hockey. How I played hockey was the Friendship Center had a some kind of like a program. So hockey equipment was, we got to go get a donated used equipment, and to me that was new. And I loved hockey. I started late. I started second year Adam, and I played till bantam, but it was too expensive. But I loved playing hockey, man. I loved hockey more than any other sport. I still follow hockey more than anything. So sports led me to that. Went to JP and high school there, man. I enjoyed playing sports there. It was fun. I played. Yeah.
So, I remember the banner you still got there for cross country provincial. Maybe tell us a little bit about your high school sports, because I know most people that know you from your own age group, that's how they remember you, like as a athlete and as somebody who was just a star athlete and played everything, right? Like, was that good for you? Was that good for your development in other sports to play all of them? Yeah,
you know what, man? If it wasn't for high school sports, I don't know if I would have played sports because it was free. It's free to play. Like you don't have to pay any fees. So that helped me personally. But funny story, how I started running, it was I always played the high school sports, even in elementary, grade 6 and 7. I played badminton, volleyball, basketball, track, hockey at the time, right? Soccer. But our phys ed teacher, Mr. Wandler, I was in his grade 8 phys ed class, and there's a kid. He was a runner. He was on the cross country team, and our little warm up around the soccer field and come down another alley kind of thing. It's about a kilometer maybe, and he was always bragging that he was winning. And then finally, some of us, our buddies, were like, "Man, we're gonna race you now," And Mr. Wandler never ever watched the warm ups. He would just wait for us to come back into the gym. And that day, Wandler happened to be outside watching, and that was his top runner. And I happened to beat him. So then Wandler, he's a big muscular guy, and he said, "Hey, Shalen, you want to run cross country?" And I was like, "Sure." He was an intimidating guy, and I said, how far do I have to run? He said, "Oh, only 4K." I said, "How far is 4K?" He said, "I'll take about 15 minutes, maybe." Well, maybe I said, "Okay." So I went with him the next day to a race. I went to Athens Lake. Never been on a race. I don't know what to do. We go on a course walk, which I don't know what a course walk is. You just walk the course to where you're going to run. And they said, "You have to run this loop, it's called twice." I said, "Okay, yeah." So I kind of remembered where it was. And the first 2 kilometers, the first loop, I was in first place. And then endurance kicked kicked in. I didn't have the endurance to keep going. I came in last. I think I even walked across the finish line. So yeah, so that was an eye opener. And then the following week was like the districts. I think I was in the top 10 maybe, and then the season was over, right? So I ended it late. Then I played some basketball with him. I happened to try out, and Mr. Waller kept me on the basketball team. Then I went to track in the following year, and I was like, I was in shape from basketball and all that running, and then I took track and field seriously. I was like, I'm going to start training and stuff, and boom, and yeah. Ever since then, I never looked back on running. I was fortunate enough to be gifted with some determination, some skills. I don't know if I have the greatest skills, but I have that fight. So yeah, I was able to go to provincials. I've been to provincials for cross country, basketball, soccer. It was medaled in cross country, medaled in soccer. I could never medal in track though. I really, really wanted to, but the Saskatoon and Regina people are just on a different level, and I don't have. I was just on pure natural talent. They had coaches and facilities, and I just did not have that kind of things. So yeah, but no. Then I was able to. I was a red shirt for the Huskies. My last year, grade 12, we had an intern. He played Huskies, and he said, hey, and I was a goalie in high school. That's the only time I ever played goalie. Hey, yeah. I was playing men's out, but everybody always wanted me to play goalie because there was no goalie. So I was okay at it, right? My anticipation is what keeps me there. But yeah, and then he said, "Hey, my soccer coach is going to come out and watch." We were at provincials, and I was playing good. I was playing good at the time. And he said, "Hey, I bring him out." So I did. I actually in provincials. I actually went out the first half. Carlos, he was a coach there too. I played the first half in net. We're down 2-0, and then I always wanted to play out. Finally, they let me play out. Second half, I scored right away. Like I scored like 5 minutes in the game, like in the second half, and boom, it was on. So I had that determination. Yeah, we ended up losing, but yeah, no, I loved playing. And then I didn't play too much with Huskies. I practiced like about a month, and then I was like, I got into party life. That's where university. That's where I got into my drinking. Was at university. That's where it took a change. So for those of you that are going to university, and I highly recommend you live with family. I highly recommend you live with family. If you have to go somewhere, I highly recommend you find a good support system too. Going on your own, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So yeah. Then I got into I turned 19 that year too, and man, then I went to the bars, and man,
new world.
That's a whole new world. You're having liquid courage. You're talking to women steady. That was at a time too, and there was no cell phone, so you literally were going. You were approached, and you were approaching women at the same time too. So it was an eye opener. I still remember and then I started partying, and I wasn't really going to school too. That's I got kicked out of university. Yeah. I barely was passing classes. If I was passing classes, second year. That's when I first experimented with drugs. I experimented with some. My drug of choice was a cocaine, and I experiment with that. And I remember it was April. It was April, March or April. I experimented with that. I fell in love with it right away, and it fell in love with me. feel some numbness and stashed away feelings. So yeah, and then I ended up not going back that semester. The reason why was, you guys remember the Native Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was here, and well, it was always here every year, end of March, early April. I went on a tear. I went on a bender. I was still boozing the Sunday morning, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch hockey because I loved watching hockey. So I still had some vodka or something, and I just put it in a bottle, and I went and watched them. Man, I was like 10 in the morning. I was boozing that thing straight still. I went partying with someone. I don't remember this. But my hands were in my pocket. And this is what people tell me, because I don't, so I'm just going with people tell me. My hands were in my pocket, and in front of the Civic Center in the rink, there's where water comes off the sidewalk. I don't know what it's called, but there should be a cage kind of thing so water can go into it, but it should be protected so you can walk, so you don't get caught in there. But it wasn't there for some reason, and my hands were in my pocket, and I was blacked out. Still out and about. This was mid afternoon, and I fell. Like I tripped, and I fell flat on my face. Scraped my nose right to the thing here. Scraped my lip. Knocked out pretty much this front tooth, and my chin was all the skin was gone. I guess I was still trying to party. Some buddies took me home to where I was sleeping. And all I remember was waking up in the middle of the night, I guess. It was dark. I figured out where I was, and I went to the washroom and as I walked by the mirror, I looked at the mirror and I was like, what the? My whole face was full of blood, scratches, and I looked up and my tooth was gone. So that was that's part of, and then I didn't go back and write finals because I was like, plus I was already failing anyways. So yeah. So I stashed around for a couple weeks until I healed up. When I got my tooth fixed, that sucked without a tooth, man. That sensitivity. I don't know if you guys ever lost your tooth, man, but I could not eat. I could not drink anything.
Have you ever lost a tooth, Ray?
Yeah, look at it. I'm just getting mine fixed pretty soon, but yeah, I'm knocking.
Yeah,
it hurts. Yeah.
So that was that. Then I was then the university wrote to me a letter and said, we recommend you to take a year off. Basically, I was out of school. Then I was embarrassed to come home. I didn't even go home right away. Yeah, I didn't even go home right away. Went to my bro Cyril's place, ended up staying there for a bit. They were all going to do seismic in the States. It was like 12 or 13 of them. So I went over there with them. I was like, oh, might as well go work. So I went to the States. Ended up staying there until December. So there's no cell phones at this time still too. So nobody, I honestly did not reach out to my family. They did not know where I was. And I think how they knew, a couple guys had went back. They didn't stay, and they told I think my auntie or someone that was, hey, Shalen's down in the States. So yeah. Yeah. So I was in the States. I came home once to play soccer at FSIN. And then and then I went right back. I was probably home for maybe 4 or 5 days, and then I went back to work, and I stayed till December. So you know what, I was making some money. Single, didn't have any kids. I was just living the life, a hotel life. So then I was like, yeah, and I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I came back. I was an EA at our school in Sweetgrass. still remember I got paid $540 every 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, I think you make more on EI, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much is EI today?
Like 900 every 2 weeks, I think, or something.
Oh yeah, so
depending on how many hours.
Yeah. So then I was like, and then the only reason why I became an EA was like because I was in education, and I was like, I want to see if I want to get back into teaching. Is this my calling? And I did enjoy it. So I was still boozing. I was using at the time. I always have my tolerance had went up. My boozing had went up. I was back in school. I got back into university, and I don't know if I would say I was smarter. I just figured out how to go to school and work and party. So I balanced. I was good at balancing it. You know how you guys balance athletes as like athletes. So when you guys were practicing and all of that, I was out partying. So I was still working and going to school, and I was doing better than what I did before. So I was able to balance it in that sense. I have. I was in university, and then it took me forever to get through university. I should be a doctor. Yeah. So then that, man, you know what? And then what's it called? I was an unclassified student. I think that's what it was called. Then I was open studies. Then I was arts and science. So I was like the third level to get back into just arts and science. Then I got into education. So it took me 4 years to get back into education, just taking random arts and science classes. So then I got into education. It took me a couple of years from there. So went and taught in Sturgeon Lake, phys ed. That's where the drugs really got more out of hand too, because I remember when I first started in Sturgeon Lake, the very first day, I happened to get there on a payday. So it was a payday. So they had a check ready for me because it was contract. So they gave me, and I did not know, they just gave me an envelope. And there was a check in there for $2,000. And I was like, what the? Yeah. So I didn't even start working yet, but I had a $2,000 check. So I partied hard because that's the most money I've ever had. So yeah, I was a phys ed teacher for 3 years. I met some great people there. Partied it up. I got into gambling there too. That's where my gambling addiction came into full swing. So then I had a chance to come home. Battleford, I knew I was ready to leave Sturgeon. I applied in Saskatoon. I applied in Battleford. Interviews went great in Saskatoon. Battleford interviewed me on a Friday, I remember, and they offered me the job on the Monday. But I wanted to go to Saskatoon. I have a daughter over there. That's where I was planning on going. And I have a son here. So I was planning on going over there, but I ended up taking the job here. Then Saskatoon phoned me and said, hey, did you want the job? And this was in June. I was like, I already took the job in Battleford. Then worked at JP I've been there for 7 years now. So 2 years in, I was partying hard, man. I was going 3, 4, 5 days a week, pretty much every day, using and boozing. Didn't have any money, but still I boozed. Then I went to treatment. I went on my own. I remember that World Cup raid with the World Cup where I missed there, me, you, and Delbert. I was on a bender too, and I didn't go to the next day. I don't think we even played though. I don't even know I was playing. I don't think I was playing. I think my knee was shot at the time. I was too heavy. I was 240 pounds. Yeah. So my knee was giving me trouble. And I went partying, and I remember chatting with you and saying like I'm done. I'm tired of this. And then I went to the addictions worker. This was maybe my second or third time that I went to there. I said, let's just go to rehab. I'm done. That day too, when I signed the papers, work had contacted me, said we have a meeting at the board office. it was an intervention. They had an intervention for me, but I just came out right away and said, I just signed the papers. I'm going to rehab. So I went to rehab out in Lloyd, Blackfoot, just a little town. I was there for 45 days. So my last time using drugs was July 3rd, 2016, or July 2nd. Sorry, July 2nd was last time I used drugs in 2016. The last time I've used, I had booze was July 3rd, and I went to rehab July 5th. So I was using drugs and addiction, booze for drugs. I'd say, 12, 13, 14 years at the time. So yeah, constantly. Yeah, then that's life. It's not until the last year that my life has changed in a different way. And I don't know why this is, and maybe you guys can help me with this. But why is it when something tragic happens in your life, all of a sudden it's an eye opener? My tragic event was my head Cookham had passed away November 25th.
Yep.
But why is it something tragic happens in your life? That's when it's like, man, I got to get my shit together. You know, when you lose someone to suicide, all of a sudden we're activists for a suicide and like a mental health. When someone in our family gets beat up, like a woman, and all of a sudden we're about that, like the physical abuse. When we have a daughter, like, hey, it's time for me to start treating like the women better. When you have a son, hey, I'm going to teach my son to be a good young man. Whenever you lose your parents or a grandparent, and all of a sudden it's, I'm going to make them proud now. I'm going to start doing something. I don't know why that is, but that's what happened to me too.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to me as well too, man, when my dad got sick. And I understand that, because like, almost like, well, why did it take to this point? Why does it have to be something so big and dramatic to get to that point? But you're right. It's just, that's the way it happens for a lot of us, I think. And I don't know if there's an answer for it even.
Yeah. I don't know either. How about you, River?
I don't know. Maybe it's a guilt thing. And one thing I noticed too is that when you live a certain way, you become so numb to everything, and what becomes normal to you may not be normal to anybody else. And I'm guessing it's probably just the fact that your world has been shaken up so much that it takes you back to square one, and it helps you realize that, like, I'm kind of at my lowest point now, so I have to rebuild. And what do I have to do to rebuild? So then you start making these big drastic decisions and choices, because you also feel the need to do better. It's almost like self-realization. And that's how it is for me sometimes too. It's like, I don't want to be somebody that the youth can look up to, I tell myself. Or I don't want to be someone that my parents and my grandparents aren't proud of. You know what I mean? I don't want to be somebody where my past ancestors gone through so much just for me not to do anything, just for me to just be here and live. I've been given this chance at life, so I got to be a better person every day. I don't really have, like you said, an answer for that, but that's just kind of how I see it. It's just the fact that we're so used to living a certain way, and something comes in, sweeps us off our feet, and we pick ourselves up. And that's one thing I noticed too, is it's a lot easier to look at situations or problems from the outside in. It's the hardest thing to recognize when you're living it. And that's why we need a support system. That's why we always need a second opinion. That's why we always need our friends to have our back and to set us straight sometimes, because sometimes we get so caught up in it that we don't realize what we're doing. And that's just another way of us of that message being relayed across to us. Is just something dramatic in our life happening.
Yeah, I think it's important too, like what River was saying, and Shalen, you can probably be the biggest kind of poster child for this, is like who you're surrounding yourself with, like, and if you look at one thing that me and you had talked a lot about is our role models, right? And the people that we were growing up around and what we saw and what we normalized, right? So when we're like what River's saying, when we're sitting there, and we're seeing, I'm seeing you, for instance, I'm seeing you do drugs and drink, and then but I'm also seeing you play soccer, and I'm seeing that women like you and everyone wants to gravitate towards you, and you have all those good qualities, but you're also doing that other side of things. I think that becomes normalized to us. We understand that as like something that's cool. It's okay, and to get away from that, it takes somebody to take the first step, like you. Like I always tell a lot of people, like, Shalen's the one that kind of made it cool around our friend groups, around soccer, around everything that I know, around our bros, for it to be cool to not drink, for it to find healthy ways of coping, right? And it takes that first person to do that inside work, and then it's a domino effect. Now how many guys do we have out there that are sober now and are striving to be better? So I think that that traumatic thing that happens is just like a wake-up call, and you question everything, and it sucks that it has to get to that point, but you have to be at your lowest to bounce back, I think.
Yeah, it's you have to, in this last year, I've honestly I've changed in a different way. I read lots of books. I still have that addictive personality. Hey, in December, I have 15 books, and I'm on my third book this month. I've read 3 books. I'm going to finish a book here, like probably the next day here. So I still have that addictive personality, but like those books are helping me in different ways. I'm in a book club, and we read 1 book a month, but that book takes me a week to read. And so I still read some other books. I also learned through a couple other friends listening to podcasts in the morning. So every morning since February 15th, maybe, I listen to a 10-minute podcast in the morning, and I journal, and that's before I start my day, and that gets my mind going, whether it's motivational, whether it's something about myself to live a healthier life. So those are things that I do. And then I go to the gym in the mornings now. I've always been a morning gym person. But I journal, and I go to the gym before I even go to work, and then I work, and then I go back to the gym later in the day, and then I read. And then I still hang around with friends. Lots of my friends that I hang around with, they're living a healthy life. And if they're not, this is what I've also learned too. I was always willing to help somebody. I was always willing to help somebody on their sobriety, but was I really willing to help? And the example that I use is, call me anytime, Ray. Even you, River, call me if you guys need like anything, like anytime. Like my phone's always on, but my phone never has the ringer on. So am I really going to help you? No, I'm not. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying, give me a call, River, like anytime, whatever something's going on. But my phone is never on,
Right.
And it's still not on today. So now I have to be clear with my words, is, I will get back to you, when I'm up, if you're calling it at that time. But I have to be honest, and you have to be honest with yourself. So this is where I've changed. I have to reach out to the reason why people use and are in like addiction is because they're numbing some kind of pain, or and they're lonely and they can't feel loved. Basically, that is what it is. There's a traumatic event, so that's what they're numbing, you know. And I was always, for how many years, I was like, Ray would message me, another buddy would message me, you know. Sometimes they would be on one, and I would just chit chat. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, contact me when you guys are sober. And they never really did. But now in the last year, I send out those messages now. Hey, have a good morning. Or like, I miss you. Or else I send out a positive quote, or like a podcast in the morning. And you know what? A lot more of those people that were struggling, are reaching out to me now too. Sometimes I forget to send them to them, and they're like, "Hey, how come you didn't send me that podcast in the morning?" And I'm like I didn't even know that. Like, I kind of just stopped because I thought I was being annoying to them, but I didn't realize that I was doing something impactful in their life that became a routine.
Right.
So those people in your families and your friends that are struggling with addictions, and you have to find that balance too, and you have to have that boundaries. And I'm not enabling them. I'm not giving them money, but I'm still sending them love, and I'm still sending them that I care. So when they do ask for help, then they're going to say, hey, like, I can reach my brother Shalen, you know, right. I can reach Ray, I can talk out to River, whoever it is, but at least they still feel that a love, right? So that's what I've been doing in the last little bit. So that's something that I truly do. Because why do I need to give someone shit? Ray, put down the bottle, man. Like, grow up. Like it's like a River. Stop going in the casino. You know, like, quit spending all your money. Like, you're just dumb. It's like, that's not going to fix anything. Do you know what I mean? And belittle them because you think you're helping them by giving them shit, but you know, we already feel bad enough. So you're just making me feel any more worse. So now it's like, well, like, Ray, you know, like, it's good to see you, man. Well, like, you're looking healthy. And then River, hey man, it's good to see you spend your money on your mom rather than at the casino. You know, something positive rather than like, you're looking skinny, Ray. Are you sure you're eating? You know, it's like, so you have to watch how you word things, because if you don't need to belittle anybody. They already feel bad enough. So make them feel good about themselves, so they can stand up and be proud of who they are. Right.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing too that I really got from you is when you told me, you know, loving unconditionally and how important that is. You know, we can't pick and choose when to love someone or how to love them, right? And with that advice, man, that brought me to a place in my own healing journey to be able to speak with my mom and tell her how I felt and work on things that I was scared to talk about. And I like, honestly, that's the message that I told her to, you know, and we've been working on that. And now she's working on that with, you know, the things that she's having trouble, you know, with people and loving. And it's mind blowing for me, like, the domino effect you have. And I don't even think you know it, but you know, there's probably 10 people right now that you're connected to on that level that are out doing, you know, like, good thing you're not like a cult leader, bro, taking them in a weird spot. You know, it's good and positive and the right way, but you know, there's a domino effect to what you're doing and how you're helping people and things that are sticking with them. You know, like, now people are watching podcasts in the morning, or you have your gym group, you know, those guys that you're bringing out in the mornings that you guys are going to CrossFit with. And then you have, you know, your golfing buddies that are like starting to see that. And then, you know, you have your own family that you're working on as well too. Does it ever get like exhausting, bro? Or you ever just like, man, like, I don't have the energy for this today, or I can't be there present for everyone? Or is it kind of just like, you're so, I guess it's that addictive personality that's just like help, or is it you ever crash, or what happens?
I don't know if I crash. I don't know if I crash because River, if you're not coming to the gym with me in the morning, River, I'm still going to the gym regardless. Do you know what I mean? So if you're with me, great. If you're not, rest up and come and join me like a tomorrow. So I don't know if I get, I don't know how to explain it, man. But for some reason, I am. And sometimes I think I'm heartless, and I honestly think this, and I ask people this too, because when someone loses someone or when someone's hurting, like I can feel that pain and that like I have that empathy feeling, but I also my life goes on still. I don't know how to explain it, and sometimes I think I'm like I am a heartless person, but I also know I'm not, because I'm still there with you, but I like to change the subject, because everybody always says, "How are you doing?" A River, like when you've lost like somebody, even Ray, it's like you get asked that probably 1,000 times within the week. How are you doing? How are you holding up? And it's like, I'm good. I'm getting a little bit stronger each day, and my train of thought is, I already know you guys were asked that 1,000 times. But it's like, hey, like, let's just talk about something else, and then I will send a message later and be like, hey, the reason why I didn't ask how you're doing is because you were asked 1,000 times. I just wanted to change the subject, and I still care for you, so that's how I think of it, because it's the same conversation over and over, and you get tired of it, right? So so that's how I work. Do I ever get drained? No. There are some days where I do get drained. Like even today, I went down. I didn't even know I fell asleep, and I slept for 3 hours. I never ever sleep during the day. So, but that's just from my body, and maybe that is from people's energy. But I also know that I needed the rest. I have lots of people that I like to interact with. So my bubble and my support system, in the last couple of months, I used to think it was small, but I have a big support system. I go to the gym with regular people at 7 a.m. I have a running group on Fridays. I go running with other people here and there. I go to the gym. I go golfing lots. Go for breakfast. Go to sweats. I'm in a book club. But I'm able to establish, as it says, even on the boundaries, like I'm able to establish those boundaries for myself, right? So and to be honest, you guys, like even with my work and with my personal life, I've always said this, I'm just a simple man. I don't do anything extraordinary. I just do the little things well, and to some people that's a big win, right? But living my healthy life, that's something that I have to do. Exercising is just part of my life that I've always had to. Reading is something that I've never read a book on my own until December. It's always been because of work or school, and now I'm just flying through them. I never podcast or journaled before, and now I do that on a regular basis. So. Someone messaged me the other day too and said, I think I posted my running where I ran or something, and it said, well, like, you're lucky. I'm like, and how am I lucky that I'm going out running? Like that's a choice, right? So yeah, so you have to surround yourself with people. The three things that I honestly talk about if you want to do something, it's patience. You got to have patience. You got to be consistent, and you got to have that positive self-talk, right? If you're not patient on your exercise, or your schooling, or your healthy nutrition, or your family, friends, it's gonna take a toll, and you got to be consistent, because we all have those days where you want to stay in bed and you want to just relax, but you can't have more bad days than the good days. So and that's easier for me to say though, because I don't struggle with the mental health, so I don't know how that feels, right? Yeah, Delbert, I was out running a 10K. That was my first 10K yesterday, and lucky he seen me because he gave me some water. Yeah. So yeah, and then that positive self, just the way my the way my mind works. I always I don't talk bad about myself. You know, I don't try to use negative words. I always try to use those positive words. You know, progress. If I didn't perfect it, I'm still working to progress. I'm never going to perfect anything, right? So it's always good, but it's great to see more people living that sober life. The one thing that I've done in the last, this one's the hard one, you guys. This is the hard one. Saying those stories to people that I've hurt in the past, and I've done, in the last 6 to 12 months during this COVID time, you know, I've reached out to exes, even friends, and just my toxic unhealthy side is a womanizing part. You know, leading them on. Sorry for doing this to you. Sorry I did that to you. You know, I do. Most of them are face to face if I do see them, and that's hard. That's hard, knowing you had messed up someone because of my selfish ways of quantity over quality, right? That's the easiest way to put at it. So I still have some more out there, but I'd rather do it when I see them rather than so I just rather do it in person, right? So
yeah,
just so they can feel my emotion and feel that I am sorry. So
yeah. Let's get into that a little bit more. I'd like to this is almost really going to be like a good group discussion right here, because there's you know, it's as men, I've been noticing lately, like just scrolling Facebook or like seeing posts, and it's always, you know, my baby daddy, you know, these guys aren't shit, you know, like I feel like there's a narrative out there that's not giving that space for men to heal or to say sorry or to work on themselves, you know. And as somebody that has gone through that, you know, and put yourself in those positions, you know, not to take away anything that the men are doing. I'm not trying to excuse their behavior, you know, they need to come to that. But do you feel like it has been hard to, you know, say that sorry, but even harder for somebody to accept that sorry or see that you're actively trying to change? Does it ever get frustrating? You're like, you know, I'm sorry, or they just want to see you as that guy, and that's all they're gonna see?
I think I'm a strong enough mindset that I control what I can control. So when I say I'm sorry and I've put myself out there, that's all I can control. If that person does not believe me or thinks I'm lying or whatever, you know, then that's on them. If they can't, and if they won't, there's nothing else I'm going to do. I'm not gonna keep begging for something, you know, like, hey, this is me and I'm sorry. So it's a little bit tough because since I quit drinking, and they honestly do say this, your circle does shrink. Well, lots of people, and I learned this the other day too. One buddy I was walking with, you know, and I've only ever seen him when we were partying and stuff, so I've never seen him sober really. And we're out walking, and those are all my memories of him. We're just boozing, and then seeing him sober, and I was like, man, this guy's still funny. Like, this guy's still a character, you know. And I was like, but that's where I got on my train of thought, like, yeah, he's changed in so many ways, but yet I had that image of him being a partier back in the day. So then I thought, how many people have never seen me sober or in a public place sober, where they still have those images of me in the bar, right? So I don't know what else I can do, but I don't worry about it, but I do think about it, right? Because there's lots of people that I partied with and probably don't even know I'm sober. right? So because I don't really talk about my sobriety in that sense. Like I do and I don't. Yeah. So
I think it's just important to say that, to man up, like that guy says, man up, take responsibility for your actions, to apologize, and I guess that's all you can do at the end of the day. But you have to be willing to kind of take that first step and look inside, man. It's tough. Let's jump over. I want to talk to you guys about the most certified closer I've ever seen, man. If you've ever seen Shalen on a soccer field, man, it's ice cold. Guy can play anywhere. Guy can do anything that he puts his mind to. Also the hardest worker. Also the leadership role of the team. Man, what's it like? What was it like, kind of when you first started playing soccer? Like when you're playing with like Red Pheasant, and you guys are just like dominating everything, and then as you guys get older, it's starting to, you're still winning lots, but slowing down a bit. Now you guys are slowing down, and then Mosquito's next great comes along, and they make their presence known, and before you know it, man, you guys just all go your own ways, right? And then you have guys still playing, you have guys that don't even play anymore, and everyone knows soccer around here, knows the young guns and their impact. What was it like to grow up in the golden era of soccer? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Where you're at in the game now? Do you still love it the same? Tell us about all your FSN championships. Which one was your favorite?
You know what? Like just every time I hear the young guns, I just get this like butterflies. Like this happy feeling because we were just a bunch of buddies, young. I still remember the first time I played with them. I think I was 15, 16 years old. We ended up, maybe it was a Friendship Center tournament, but we lost two straight. We lost both our games in a shootout, hey? And I had played out. I was 15, 16. Me, Tiffer, and Corey Bugler were in the back. And we lost. And then we went to someone's older house. One of the older guys, they were having some beers and stuff like that, and they're like, Shalen, you're good. You're gonna stay on our team now. And then so that was like my tryout. I guess we ended up losing both games, and then we did a little bit better. But you know what? But at that time, with the young guns, like there was a core of us, and we just practiced all the time. But there was lots of soccer to be played. We were playing in the men's league here, a couple nights a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Then we go play in Saskatoon on the Mondays. Then we're playing tournaments. So we're playing 7 to 10 games a week, right? So, and we're training on those other days. So I just enjoyed soccer, man. We were winning at the time, and there was a core of us, but there was lots of players always with us too, right? So, Stevie, Cody, Tifford, Dylan, Petey, June, Greg, Searle, like myself, Basil, and we were just young guys. And then there'd be other people that would fill in with us, variety. Like when I look back at those pictures that I've seen and the players that have come and gone, there was a core of us, but then there's always just random players with us. Like, hey, we're short a guy, So I was able to do that, and that's where I came into my own, I guess, right? Just partied it up, living life, and I still remember when you guys came on the scene, Ray, with the MNG. I think we played you guys five times in the finals, and all 5 tournaments we always met. We always met on the A side. The winner was going to the finals. The loser was coming from the B side on the bracket. And we had beat you guys all 5 times, and then we went to the finals, and you guys played an extra game of that day. So I don't think we always won, Yeah. And then the following year, our guys were just, I don't know what happened. I was starting to do it too. I don't know if I was bored or if I was partying or what, but I wouldn't go play Saturdays anymore. I'd be like, I'll just show up on Sunday, So, and I think there's more and more of us doing that, and then we just never took it as seriously anymore. And guys were getting families and things like that, right? So then I remember we had lost to you guys, and then our guys, and then I remember they just never went back. They just said, we're done. We've already won our championship. But me, in my mind, I was still competitive. I was like, man, like, let's get back on the horse. Like, let's go take these guys down. Like, let's go out swinging. But no, it wasn't like that. And then that's when I went back to Sweetgrass, right? I started playing Sweetgrass at the tournaments. Still played FSINs. I think we have 6. We have six titles.
I got 4, but I know you got 2 before me.
Yeah. So no, I was able to be on those too. It was I remember we won it in first time was in Red Pheasant in a shootout versus Red. Yeah. The previous year there was a 5-year stretch. It was Sweetgrass and Red in the finals. I'm pretty sure they won 3 and we had won 2. So it was always a challenge to play them because those were my boys that I grew up playing with, right? But I always wanted to beat them. I have that competitive edge. Then Sweetgrass won a couple titles in there, and then we won a couple more. We go in there. Hey, Antea, that's my running friend on Fridays, right? So she keeps me in shape there. But yeah, no, winning those championships was fun. But the one thing I wouldn't say I regret, but I don't regret anything. But the one thing I wish I would have did better, I didn't realize exactly what you said. I didn't realize how many people looked up to me at that stage in my life. And even today, I don't even realize how many people do. Like, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, but to me, I just live a simple life. But I don't and I forget this. I don't know who's watching me and what so I always try and make sure I'm doing something good and positive, right? The way I interact with people, the way I lead by example, things like that. But back at that time, just boozing and playing soccer and womanizing, thinking that's what it was, but it wasn't, right? Even today, like I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but I'm done that womanizing stuff, right? It's not a life that I want to live, and I don't want others to be living that too. So, but soccer was fun. My favorite one, the one that stands out to me, this is probably the one, and it's the coldest, the one that you always talk about. It's the Red Pheasant game when we in Sask.
Let me jump in. I'm gonna tell this story because I gotta do it. All right, man. So we're playing Red Pheasant. They had just beat the boys the last year and the year before. They had won 2 in a row, right? Yeah. And they were trying to get a 3-peat, and that's not easy to do. I think Little Pine's the only team that's ever done that before. So we play our 3 games. We get out of our group. I think we were the wild card actually because we won one, we lost one, and we tied one.
Yeah.
And so whatever, you just basically at FSIN, you just try to play hard enough to get to Sunday. Then it's a whole new game. It's a brand new tournament, pretty much. You just want to make it to Sunday. So, man, the draw happens. We're 7th or 8th or something like that, and we get Red Pheasant. And I'm like, this is my first time really kind of taking over my role too. On the team as a starting goalie. I'm kind of coming into my own, and I'm like I'm scared, man. I'm like, shit, we're gonna go against the defending champs. Like I'm scared, man. Like I don't know. I think these guys are gonna like beat us, dude. But I can't say that. And we're all getting ready. Whatever, game starts. I think we scored. I think we scored one kind of early. Back and forth game. They had some chances. I think you got the second. You got the second and the third, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. So Shalen scores the second. And it's a nice goal, like just kind of an outside the box, like lets it go, good celly. And then for some reason, we score the second one, and that's when they turned on, and they were like coming at us, bro. Like they threw everything at us for like 10, 15 minutes, we were struggling. And then I'll never forget this, man. Like, so Shalen gets the ball. Like, I think he's about maybe about the 12 to 15 yard box, and just absolutely their defenders coming at him. I don't know. I don't want to name names, but it might have been Lyndon or Tiff. It was one of the bigger guys in the back. Absolutely undresses him. Dylan comes out, the goalie. Shalen drops him, like takes a step over, rolls it over, keeper's down, shoots it past him. And then I'll never forget this. He runs by, he goes to the corner flag, and he looks at everybody, and he said, the Vince Carter, it's done, it's over. The coldest moment in FSIN I ever saw, man. That was nasty, bro. I'll never forget that, man. And that's the day that I really feel like, I got a lot of respect for Red Pheasant and everything they did, but Shalen put the nail in the coffin that day, and I don't think they've ever been the same, man.
Yeah, that was just, I don't ever really celebrate like that stuff, but for some reason that just popped in my mind, and I think this is my time. They were always my boys. It was always fun, and it was good. One of my bros always brings that up. Well, he doesn't always, but he said that was cold because he was on the bench. He's like, I would have stopped. I would have stopped you, and then you just did this. Like, so yeah, you know what? Soccer. I still the reason why I play soccer today is I just enjoy being around the boys, and I enjoy seeing all the people. I still love soccer, but I just love being in the warm-ups. I love being at in the halftime when people are joking around. I love talking to the elders after and the fans, and it's not even about soccer, just about life, It was, and then when it's time, when it's time to play, I always say this, and I always say, like, I'm just gonna go out there and just let Ray and Delbert and them do their thing, and then I'll just kind of do whatever. But once the game gets going, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, man, I can't let this go. Okay, now it's like, let's just play now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the leadership stuff, that's where it just comes. It just comes natural. What to say and how to say it, whether it's in a group or whether it's one-on-one, just to get somebody going, just to give them that positive stuff, right? So I think that's why I like coaching too. It's because of that stuff. I love coaching. My favorite sport to coach is basketball. I love coaching basketball. I love the X's and O's, and my good buddy Nav, he taught me so much. And my good friend Heidi, like they played at the college level, so they see the game different. And I just played at high school level, right? So, but I still love coaching. So just those leadership talks, those practices, breaking down stuff, but it's the interactions of stuff, right? It's the moments. And I also know at the end of the day, like, the younger guys, the 17, 18-year guys, they don't really know, like, it's not that I'm looking for them to know who I am, but they don't know who I am. And it's like, life is going to go on, right? Teaching too. Like, I always think when teachers are going to retire, we had just lost an important member or a staff member, and life just went on. So I also know that, like, my time, it's, I'm a piece here, but I also know there's someone behind me that's going to bring another element to it, and just trying to encourage them, to show them what I've done and what it moves forward. So I even remember battling a River when he was with Twizz's team. I don't know what you guys were called, River. What were you guys called again at the Flats? You guys are wearing the black jerseys there.
New Era. No?
Yeah, New Era. Yeah.
New Era.
Yeah, and then I remember River, because I was like, River's a volleyball player, man. How am I? And I used to think, like, how am I going to win these headers? And he's 6'4", and I'm only 5'10", and I had a ripped Achilles at the time, or I was back from it, so I couldn't jump as much. But yeah, it was fun to. I always love those little challenges, those little aerial battles, So for some reason, I can win headers. I don't know why. I don't jump anybody. Yeah, I think it's fear. I just play fear like a fearless, right? So if it hits me in the head, it hits me in the head, right? Like that's what I'm meant to do. So yeah.
I think it's just from the years and years of you watching and playing the game that you're always in the right position, and it's just I don't know. Watching you play is beautiful too. When you get to play with us, I've played against you a few times too. I mean, you led the comeback there with those old guys and the Beardies boys, and just about took us out in Beardies when we stacked up a team. So, but no, man, it's crazy to see like evolution. Go from a 20-year-old defender with all athletic gifts to a playing up front, scoring goals, and then now you're center mid, get outside back. I think it's just the adapting to the game that you do is crazy too, and I think now you're gonna be in the best shape of your life. So it's like, what the heck, man? Yeah, it's started for you.
Yeah, in October I was 215, 220 pounds. Now I'm 195 pounds, like just from eating better, and like I'm excited to play soccer just to see where I'm at with everybody. You know what I mean? I went to Bine. Yeah, Bine's one of my good bros too. But yeah, I'm just excited to play soccer. I don't remember the last time I would have been 195 pounds to play soccer. So I'm excited if I get the chance this summer to play soccer, I'm definitely going to take the opportunity just to see where I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's cool though. That's the thing I remember about Shalen is he wasn't in the best shape, man, but he was just so calm and collected, and he could just do whatever he wanted with the ball, right? And like he controlled the pace of the game. And I remember actually going against it. I'm like, I'm faster than this guy. You know what I mean? I'm taller than this guy. But like just the way that Shalen just set the pace for the game, it's like there's nothing you can really do against it. It's crazy, and just seeing what you're gonna be doing now that you're in shape, man. It's who knows, bro. Hat tricks all summer.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro, I ain't seen no one do it since Little Pine back in 08 to 2010. We're going for 3 in a row. Easy money. But book it right now. I have enough confidence in what we're doing over at Sweetgrass Football Club that we are going to be a perennial contender for a long, long time. And if y'all wondering where the cup's at, it's still in Sweetgrass. We still got it. We're the COVID champs, bro. No, man.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Oh, I was just saying. Shay used to have the crazy belly fakes too, bro. I remember those.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's gonna do now. Yeah, what can you do? Like the ab fake pretty soon, bro. You might lose a little bit of it. I mean, athletically, it's just awesome. I want to talk a little bit about CrossFit in a bit, but there's something that I think we should kind of address maybe, or just open it up a little bit, and that's what you were talking about earlier. Because I think I've gotten to that point too. Where I'm thinking about, my wrongs, and as it pertains to women, and how that works, and how that, it is a drug, right? It's like womanizing is a drug, it's an addiction. It's something that isn't easy to, talk about or overcome or even get to that place. How did you get to that place to be, make those choices to, start apologizing for those things and start to open up conversations and talk to yourself about it? Was it easy, or like where did you come from at it?
I think it's just a combination of things. I think you as a person, what right or wrong is and what's right and wrong for you, right? So always thinking about it, and it wasn't eating me up where I wasn't sleeping, but I just deep down inside I was like, Shalen, you have to apologize, so when I had those chances, I had to, if you want to be a leader in life, and you don't need a title, you don't need to be the captain, you don't need to be the principal, you don't need to be a CEO to be a leader. And I've also learned that just from these leadership books that I've read. But if you want to be a leader, you have to have those tough conversations. You know, you can't, they're not always props. You know, you're gonna have to sit down with someone and let them know what's going on and how to improve it in a positive way, though, right? So that's where that was. Just, you know, just knowing that it was wrong and knowing that I have a chance to make this right. So that's what I do. And it's tough, but I do feel better about it after, and now I just go on with my life again, right? So it's tough though, because so many people, you don't want to face that yet. And if you're not ready for it, then you're not ready for it. Like that's like a River and you guys arguing, and it's like one of your moms, okay, a River, just go and apologize now. Like, it's like, you can easily say, yeah, I'm sorry, Ray. And then, yeah, it's good. Like, but when you really sit down, hey, Ray, you know, like I'm sorry that like I did this to you. You know, I was in this state of mind, and this where I'm coming from, and then you get to say it back and where you were, you know. So it's very you have to be open to it. Vulnerable is the word I want to say. Yeah. So just leading by example. I find it easier to have those tougher conversations now, just the more education that I have. And it's not more schooling, it's more books that I'm reading, it's more podcasts that I'm like listening to. All the stuff that I've learned, I don't really know if I've learned it in school, and I've learned some stuff in their school, but it's speaking up on those issues of social injustices, you know. And I speak from the indigenous side now. The lowest graduation rates, the harsher incarcerations, the police brutality, the missing and murdered indigenous women, this like the 60 scoops and the residential schools and the addictions and the trauma, you know. But you also have to know the history. You also have to know the present, and you also have to have that reconciliation piece moving forward. I can easily just call out on myself and say, this is from the residential schools. This is from residential school. This is from trauma. Yeah, I totally understand that now, but it's like, where am I going forward with this in my life now, Shalen? You know, so I have to make that a decision. And I also know that we have barriers and obstacles as a society against us in education in the work of field. But, you know, and you guys are two prime examples of this, of being Indigenous athletes, elite athletes. It's going to take some work, and this is for everybody, but it's a little bit harder for Indigenous people because it's going to take some work. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some tears. It's going to take some dirty looks. It's going to take some adversity. You're going to get called. You're going to get called out from your own people. You're going to get called out from your own family and friends. You're going to get called out someone who is jealous of you, but you still have to fight through it, because you cannot. And this is where I struggle with, because when you quit, when I've got kicked out of university, I just proved to them that exactly what it is. They can't go to university, you know. But now I proved it to them wrong again. And what I mean by them, it's a society. I can make it. I can go to university, you know. So you have the more education I have, the more tables that I get to sit at. Yes, I have an education degree, a B.Ed, so I can sit at the teacher table, and I've completed my master's this past year. So now I can sit at the master table now, you know. And if I want to keep going further, I'm going to be sitting at a higher up table, right? So that's where it is. But I also know it's going to take some work, and That's where you have to challenge yourself as an individual. Are you willing to walk in those steps? Are you willing to lead by example? Are you willing to trail blaze? Because if you can't, there's no hard feelings, because I know it's not easy. But if you do, do it for us. Do it for all of us. This isn't just
Yeah. Shalen, as a teacher, I guess, especially a First Nations teacher, what are some things with the curriculum that necessarily you don't think really benefits the students, and just some things that you would change if you were given the chance to teach, I guess, more specifically First Nation students as well, in high school, who are teenagers, who are preparing for that adult life?
You know what? The biggest thing I would change is I would not, and this is what I just think of just now, I would not put Native Studies as an elective. I would put Native Studies as a mandatory math and English, a science class. That would be the biggest one, and I would, and I can't do this though, but the land based learning, that would be part of it, the culture, like the cultural piece, right? So those are the things that I would, that would be a mandatory, not just for our Indigenous people. This is for everybody in Saskatchewan. That's what needs to be happening, because when Native Studies is an elective, and non-Indigenous people are not taking it, but here in Saskatchewan, like the high Indigenous population that we have, and you have no familiar background with it or no prior knowledge from it, how do you teach them? And you take one class at university, and it's like, but it's also, it's not just about class. It's a way of life. You have to understand it. And I'm starting to learn that a little bit more and more each year that I'm on this earth, right? So it has to be, that's what I would change. Yeah.
No, that's 110%. That's true. Reconciliation is an ongoing effort that we're going to have to be working towards until the day that we die. It's not just something that we turn on and turn off, because this is the life we live, and we're going to be living amongst other ethnicities too. So they have to know these things. And I mean, so I know you had a job at JP, and you were a teacher there. Was there any freedom to, I guess, like, do land-based learning and to take the students up? Because I know, like, growing up at elementary school, there would be some teachers who'd like allow us to do that, but those are like mainly res schools. Yeah.
You know what? Before COVID, we had started to experiment. We went out to Sweetgrass. We took a grade 8 class there. When I went hunting with a buddy, and we got a deer, so it was ready for us the next day. And then we had took a class, and our class had skinned the deer. Our class had cut it up. We were just starting to start that process, and then COVID had happened. This was in October, November. So COVID was 2-3 months later, right? And then so that was our biggest piece. Yeah, Keon was part of there. You know what? And I will speak on this on like a Keon. Keon is one of our students that I always think of. This is his grade 12 year. And how do I explain this? Like, seeing him with the knife in his hand in that land-based learning, he turned into a natural leader. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew the protocols. He was just in his own element, in his own world, and he was thriving. And our other grade 8 kids were just asking him questions. Even the teachers were asking. I was asking him questions. And he just did that, just boom, 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 So there's so much more of our people that have that, but we don't utilize it. And it's because you don't have the education degree. You don't have the titles. You know what I mean? Like, you can be a Scapio for the rest of your life, River, and I can be that too, but I'm never going to get to the next level, because there is no next level. Do you know what I mean? So me and you and Ray, if I'm helping out at a feast for 4 or 5 years, I don't move up to the next level like how like an electrician works, where after so many years or so many hours you are moving to the next like a level. Then you're a level 2, level 3, or year 3, and then you're a journeyman. It doesn't work like that when in the indigenous culture. So that's a different world. Our cultural people, if they don't have the education titles, it makes it harder for them to get at the tables. And that's where I struggle with, because I don't have the culture back piece. But I'm at that table though, right? So yeah. So, yeah.
Like Keon, I remember him as a kid, and he was always one of those nice kids who I never knew the name of, but I always seen him play soccer, and he had a braid, and I always remember seeing working hard at sports, and I remember looking at that kid, and I was like, I see myself in that kid. Like, that's how I was growing up, and that's very cool to see him doing that too in classroom, because that's one thing we have to remember, is that indigenous knowledge, those ways, that's just as important as Western education. Those go hand in hand. One can't out triumph the other. That has its very own place as well.
Yeah, you have to balance it. It's if you think of it this way, and I heard this at a conference. I heard an elder speak. It's you're an eagle, and if one side is not balancing the other, then it's not going to work. So you have to have that balance of that indigenous culture and the Western culture, right? So you have to find that like that balance. Ashley, yeah, you know what? And this is another thing about school too. And Ashley and her twin Courtney, they're at JP. They graduated a couple of years back. They were the first Indigenous students that I ever seen at our school since they were the first in calculus. I've seen a handful of kids now. There's probably about 5 of them since I've been there. 5 out of 7 years. So 5 kids out of 7 years that have been in calculus. The rest just have the workplace math or the foundations math, but it's rare to see them even in the AP classes, right? So what does that tell you, right? So and that's not a knock on our school. That's just a knock in education, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. How about it? And like, I guess I feel like more kids would benefit from just life skill classes.
Yeah.
And I see so much of that on the internet too, but like, why isn't there anything like that? And maybe you working at a school and having your master's in education, you have more answers than I do, or you can answer my questions. But like, why aren't we teaching these kids about taxes? Like, why aren't we teaching these kids about what goes on after high school, that you necessarily don't always have to go to college to be successful? And like, I'm saying that from a college student, where I graduate here in the next couple months, but like, everybody doesn't always need that. But it's always so important and pushed on kids when that might not even be the career path that they take, right? Like, kids need more financing, money management, like all these things that'll help them later in life, but they just graduate and they get thrown out at 18, 19 years old. They're still technically teenagers, and they're expected to live in this big, scary, open world.
Yeah. It's because university is about this. You know what I mean? Once we have paid our tuition, or the bands or whoever, once you pay it, they don't tell you to go to class. They just want your money. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. So the universities do a really good job of marketing and promoting. This will make you successful. This will get you that, and I think they just do a better job before than the trades. But now what I see as a teacher and as a person, now I see gaming and entrepreneuring catching up like at a rapid pace. You know, I see so many kids that are gaming, and what's wrong with them gaming? You know, that's something that they enjoy. What do we always tell as a teacher? What do we always tell our kids? Find what your passion is. Find what you enjoy. And if it's gaming, then go in for gaming. You know what I mean? But it's you have to get through that educational system still, which is take your maths and your English and your sciences and your things like that. So it's at a bigger table that I am not at. Right. So it's about money. That's my personal opinion. You know, university is about money, and they have more money. But if you look at today, like, and I think you just posted this, River, like you got some kind of funds, right? Just on your gaming there, right?
Yeah. Like just with streaming video games,
yeah,
I made what is that, like over $100 just from people subbing and ads and donations. And like why can't more people do that too? And like I have a good friend of mine who owns the T4E, some esports. He works at a school, and that's kind of his reward, is he allows the kids to bring their consoles to school, and when they get their work done, they can play, because he said that's what helped him growing up. This guy was almost considered a pro. He placed third, I guess, in the Call of Duty Canadian Championships in Black Ops 2 a couple years ago. So like that's like top tier. And so like he knows what he's doing with it, and he knows how big of a benefit video games are to kids.
Yeah. But that old school mentality is video games are the ones that are killing where all the guns violence is coming from, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Or it's these rappers, it's these it's these rappers, like when it was like the Tupac and Biggie time, right? It's like, oh, they're talking about F the police, you know, guns, and it's like that's not where it's coming from. Like let's be honest, right? That's just the privileged world deflecting it back on us and saying we're the problem, right? So
hell yeah. Let's jump into that really quickly, man, because I know, you know, you are talking about social issues right now. We all see it. What's your thoughts on, like, you know, all these young Black Indigenous people of color that are getting murdered? Like, even in the last week, bro, there's been that 13-year-old boy that got murdered in Chicago. There was the 23-year-old that the lady was supposed to have the taser. And it's like, for me, it's like, man, like, I'm getting literally sick to my stomach seeing this shit. Like, it's so frustrating, and it's so unprovoked, and then you go in the comment section, you know, and that's the mistake that I always make, you know. And lately I've been trying to stay away from comment sections, but it's like there's people out there that are like, oh, well, he had a gun, or oh, he was evading from the police. Like, when did we decide that the police is judge, jury, and executioner? When did we give them the privilege to murder us for running away, or for, you know, not complying, or, you know? And then it's just, for me, it's crazy, because that could be us. That is us. You know, I think we're so invested in it because we see those, you know, there's a 13-year-old kid out there that got murdered, that we know a 13-year-old kid that got murdered. We know those stories, right? So for me, it's tough, and I don't even know what the answer is, other than to do what they're doing right now and riot and put so much eyes and attention on this thing that they can't ignore it anymore. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it, and what you guys see out of it, because for me, it's just downright frustrating and heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I stay away from the comments. Then I where I am at, I challenge myself as a teacher to bring these issues to the classroom. You know, you have to talk about it. You know, you can't not talk about it. We in North Battleford, I wrote couple page thing there about a month ago, maybe. It was about just on racism that's here in North Battleford, right?
Yeah.
And just on the history and like the present, And the one thing that's always going to be debated, and you can choose which side you're on, but it's the Gerald Stanley case. It's the Colton Bushi case. That's and at the end of the day, it's always going to be debated. Who was in the right and who was in the wrong, and I have my personal opinion on it too, just like everybody else, and I can guess what your guys' opinion too, and you guys can guess mine, right? So, but when I see stuff on social media with like the cops and I was reading up on that female cop in Minnesota who killed a guy and she thought it was her taser, like their taser's on the left-hand side of their pants, the gun's on the right-hand side of the thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're trained for that. Like you should know, but who holds you accountable? That's where the law comes into play, right? So I'm not bashing any personal people all the time. It's the society stuff that I always question, right? So, but if you're not talking about it, then if you're choosing not to talk about it, then you've made your choice, right? So if you're not comfortable with it, no one's going to be comfortable with it, because I'm not even comfortable talking about it, and I talk about it, right? So you have to have uncomfortable to talk about it, but there's more and more on social media now. So yeah, so it's tough.
Yeah, well, and the thing about like us talking about it is we have to, because it's a live or die situation for us Indigenous people, for us Black people, for the non-Indigenous and Black people. It's not a live or die situation for them, because they don't got to worry about that as much as we do.
Yeah.
We don't got to worry about having those stereotypes by police already, making one wrong move and having a bullet put into you, by being murdered just for minding your own business and doing your own thing. So by all means, it's our we're obligated to talk, and by all means, we should have people listening to us. It can't be deaf ears, without a doubt. No, and I know what you mean, man, but like, why? It's I remember reading about it too, and it's like, why are we always acting reactively to things and not proactively? And I remember reading that having more police in poverty-ridden communities just brings up more crime. It's just what it is. But what these communities need is they need more infrastructure and capacity to help the youth, to help these at-risk people, to prevent a lot of that from going on before it takes place in the first place. And I mean, I think that's what people meant by abolish the police. Remember when that hashtag was going on a whole lot, defund the police? Like that's, and like everybody obviously lost their minds, because they always go to the extremes. They're like, oh, you want to get rid of all the police and let everybody run wild? I don't think that's what they meant. I think that they meant that the police shouldn't have so much funding, and that funding should go towards other places like healthcare, and it should go towards those who need it, those who are in these tough predicaments. I think that's what they meant by defund the police. And personally, I don't see what's so wrong with that. You're not getting rid of the police's guns. You're not getting rid of the whole of a police state. No, you're just putting these multi-millions of dollars that are going towards these SWAT teams into things that would benefit more, so it can be proactive instead of reactive. But I don't know. It's like I said, man, I don't have the answers. I whenever I have these talks, I always leave with more questions than answers. But that's a good thing though, because maybe one day we'll find the answer to it. What about you, Ray?
Yeah, I think it comes from like for me personally, like I don't know what it is that we can do on our side other than to just keep pressuring the system and to keep opening the eyes, and hopefully enough of the non-BIPOC people start to open their eyes and they're as upset as us. Because if there's enough of them that are upset at us, like Shalen said, it's all about tables. It's all about who sits at those tables, right? How much influence we have, how much our words carry, right? As much as, River, when we took that drive with Dave, and Dave got into got stopped by the police. How much influence did he have that day compared to us, right? Those are the situations that we need to get into. We need to be able to have people that are just as upset at us, that are sitting there in positions of power, that are like, yeah, this is fucked up. Like, this is wrong. We can't be doing this anymore. And I think that the most important thing that we need to do is we need to realize that it's not our responsibility to educate them anymore. It's theirs. It's their responsibility. The information is out there. The ideas are out there. You just have to, we have to keep influencing them to go out and do it themselves, because they will find the right answers out there, right? And I guess a lot of it just comes down to trust, and like we've been talking about the reconciliation piece. But I think Dustin actually makes a good point. It does start locally. It starts with your homies and your friends, and having those tough conversations in, when you hear these things, and to change the narrative a little bit. I think it's important. Like, look at the thing that happened even in Saskatoon. We all saw the video of that Indigenous woman that was wrongfully, I don't even know what the hell that dude was trying to do, like make a citizen's arrest on her or something, like, and he got whopped in the face, and he absolutely should have been punched in the face by that lady. I condemn that, or not condemn, I commend that lady for sticking up for herself in that way. And I think it's tough. I'm glad that there were people there to record it. I personally, I would have tried to step in, but I also know that's hard to do. That's extremely hard to do, is to put yourself in the front line like that. But no, I think it just comes down to like fundamentals, and that we can't force them to learn, right, Shalen? Like, how do you feel when you're like in the room and there's that ignorance there? Like, is it easy for you to be like to say something, or is it easier just to be like, well, can't do anything? Like, you're set in your ways. So like, let's go work on someone that can actually is open to these ideas.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is, what I do is I work with my allies, who was ever willing to do that. The ones who are not open to it yet, and that's where I'm okay. Then you have to find your own education, but I also take it upon myself, like, hey, I have to bring this another way now. I have to try and make it where they understand too, right? So right. I kind of the more allies I have in my school, the more our school succeeds, and you can see that in our school, right? In the school that I'm at, I honestly believe our school is above and beyond any other school in the provincial province, right? So, but that's because I work with the staff members that are willing to put the work in too, who are to have those uncomfortable conversations. So I use them with my support system, right? So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. River, man, what do you think about like what Shalen's saying, like coming from like a place that's probably like bass backwards, you know what I'm saying? Like even when me and you went to JP, like there was still stigmas around it, and it didn't feel like our place for sure. Like I never felt comfortable at JP as a school. Like, and there was nothing wrong with it. Like there was no teachers that had it out for Indigenous kids. There was nothing like really there was no systematic racism I could feel at all. It just didn't feel comfortable and accepting to where you got it now. So I don't know if like River might be able to speak on the experience a little more, because he's, obviously a little more well-versed.
I mean, I'm glad to see the inclusion there now. I'm glad that Shalen is doing so much for JP too, because even when we went there, it wasn't the friendliest, and it wasn't. It was hard. It was weird, but overall, it wasn't the worst experience ever. Like you said, like we had really good teachers who believed in us. We had really good educators, and then we had some bad apples who were teachers. But I mean, if you put 100 people in a room, one of them is going to be an absolute moron, right? So
Yeah.
like regardless, it's going to happen in society. So yeah, but it's cool what JP is doing, especially like with the round dances. Seeing that now,
Yeah,
because
tell us about that, bro.
we never had that. We had the round dances. Yeah, like I'll let you go about that in a bit. And it's just so cool to see how much they're doing now, because like I remember having to take a Christian ethics course all the time, every every year, but like I wanted to take native studies and I couldn't, just like what Shalen said either. But like just the direction that JP is going, it's I definitely commend him for it. And I think that's the main contributor to that is yourself, Shalen.
Yeah, with the round dance, there was a couple staff members that were, we always talked about it, and then we finally like why can't we do this in our like in our school, and we did, and then that round dance had over a thousand people in it, and it was it's probably the biggest highlight of my schooling thing there, right? So but it's good to see, like, even the ribbon shirt and the ribbon skirt days, we've been doing that for 2 years now, right? And then that's something that comes uh, every few often throughout the year. We have soup and bannock days in my room, and we take our kids to go out and visit the reserves. We go out in the communities. We have elders and knowledge keepers in our school on a regular basis. So all these little things. I have a graduation wall. When you graduate, if you're Indigenous, like a First Nation or a Métis student, I put your picture, your graduation photo, and you're on my wall of fame. So there's 6 years of students there that kids are like, I want to be on that. I want to be on that wall. We also did a role model thing in the community, just the alumni at our school, and there's over 35, and it's like, and I can still grow it, and that's just people who are in the professional world that have that Indigenous background, so those are just little things to me, but those are big things that everybody takes pride in, and I do take pride in it too, right? But it's like, I'm not inventing the wheel. All I did was send out questions, and you guys answered them. The community answered them. The alumni answered them. I had someone at our school help put it on the posters. So like it was a team effort. So those are the little things that make the bigger difference. But you have to have someone willing to do that work, I guess, and to think of those kind of thoughts. So yeah, no, yeah.
No,
Oh, good work.
yeah, that's cool too, I guess. Um just the path that you took, because like even in our time in high and like that, you're allowing these Indigenous kids to come back to their roots, especially those who don't have it at home or they don't have access to that. Because even in me and Ray's time
Yeah.
of going to school there were a lot of registered status First Nations people who wouldn't tell anybody, who wouldn't show anybody. They they pretended that they didn't have a ounce of Indian blood in them. And maybe it was just because of shame. Maybe it was because of shame from the First Nations people. Maybe it's because of shame of everybody else. I don't know. But it seems like with what you got going on there, that kind of tackles the problem, because you didn't see those kids that I went to high school with. You didn't realize that they were Indigenous until come university, until after high school, that we start learning that, oh, this person was Indigenous too. Well, we didn't even know that. We went to school with them for 4 years. They never once said anything. You know what I mean? So it's cool that you're almost putting that there. And like I haven't even looked at the statistics yet, but I'm sure just having your room at that school solved a lot of problems, and it probably brought up the graduation level for First Nations people, First Nations students a whole lot more. Without a doubt, I could put my money on it, and it's cool that you have that, and we should definitely have more of that at more high schools. We should have more with what you're doing, because we have it a lot at university levels, and it does help. It does help a lot of people find their indigeneity afterwards. But like, this isn't until later in life. But like, if those are in a lot more high schools, they'd be able to find us at a lot sooner time when it's early in their life. So I just want to praise you for what you've done, and I wish I could have been there when you were teaching. I think you started teaching the year after we graduated, and I wish you were our soccer coach.
Hell yeah, we would have got you a provincial title for sure, bro. And I just want to add on to that too, because I think what Shalen, like what you're saying at the start, where it was like you can educate the young non-Indigenous kids too, right? So like, I don't know if you guys ever had that, but like, you know, when you go into university and there's that first Indigenous studies class, or the first week, and like the teacher's getting into stuff, and you're like, this is going to be the easiest class ever. I know everything she's talking about. And then there's that one kid that, you know, is curious, or they like put up their hand and they ask a question, like a simple question, you know, like, did that actually happen? Like, how long ago was that? Or, you know, like, and you're like, you didn't know this? Like, what like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I think like you can kind of like expel some of that stereotypes and that non-understanding if you get that curriculum in there earlier, and you make it acceptable and visible and easier to see, you know, like and I'm sure, you know, have you had kids that are non-Indigenous come into your room and like hang out, and like they want to be around you and, you know, be around that kind of that vibe you're giving off?
Oh man, you know, my classroom, my room, it's a busy place with the Indigenous kids, because that's their comfort level. It's such the vibe that I've established in there with them. It's such a chill place. But the non-Indigenous kids come in, like there are some that come in there on a regular basis because that's where they feel comfortable. Staff come in there, you know, the ones that are comfortable coming in there, come in there, and it's and we just talk. We just talk about life, you know, like we had this conversation in our room with kids about with the taser that was pulled and shot by the gun. You know what I mean? So yeah, Brooke. Yeah, I actually just hung up Brooke's award. She won the most improved there. Yeah, I graduated there. Yeah. So, but the one thing I want to say, even like River was talking about it, we're following the Voices program in the province, and I can't remember if it was just with all the students or all the schools in that, but we have one of the highest graduation rates in the province with our Indigenous kids. I think we're at like 70%. So when the average in Saskatchewan and Canada is at 44%, like we're 30% higher. So and that's not just that is not just me, you know, that's the staff that are putting in that time and effort in that connection feeling too, and allowing them, you know, so it's a balance of everybody. So that's what I take pride in too. So yeah.
Debbie, bro. You know what I take pride in? I want you to break this video down. Look at this. I found some clips, bro. Hold up. I'm gonna throw this up here and see if it works. Yes, it does too. All right, bro. Walk me through this play. Where's it at? What'd you do? Let's get it going.
This was 2 years ago. I just turned 35 in the Masters division in the World Cup. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that's Terry Sisaquasis that takes the corner kick. I'm on the opposite side, you'll see. And the ball comes to me and I stop it right there. And I always stutter step right there, boom. Then I put it through his leg. And then there was a play before this, Ray. I did the exact same thing. I was kind of on a breakaway like that, and I just let it buck. But they're too small of nets.
I just like seeing the nutmeg.
Yeah. And then the goalie's just sprawling. But the play before that, I had just let it buck, and the goalie stopped because he's so big. So I was like, the second time in, I'm like, hey, and this is where I learned real quick, and so I was like, I'm just gonna outweight him, and I did, and he sprawled like 4 or 5 times in there. Yeah. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, you and River have to pay attention. Okay. And you can point at yourself, or you can point up to River, or you can point down to River. Okay. Okay. You just got to answer quick without any thinking. Who will be the first to pay when they go for supper? River?
It's me.
River? So you think it's Ray? Yeah. Okay.
It's me.
Who has the cleanest room? Who's the better cook? Oh, Ray or chef?
Yep.
What's your specialty?
Oh man, you know what I made tonight? I had some barbecue chicken and some baked potatoes. Last night I had some chicken. I've been hitting lots of chicken lately, so.
Oh yeah. Okay, who's the better bowler?
Yeah, I say River actually. Yeah, River.
Oh yeah, River's got the bowling game.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Bro, yo, man. So funny story. No, well, actually, it wasn't funny because nobody laughed. But I went bowling with all my classmates, right? And it was for one of our professors' birthday because we could have a smaller class in one of my classes, and we're all close. And me and this other Saskatchewan guy, we beat everybody. And they're like, no way. They're like, you guys are like, you Saskatchewan kids are so good at bowling. And like I was sitting there, and I was like, it's so flat you could set up and just bowl anywhere. And like nobody laughed, bro. I felt like such a dork, bro. Nobody laughed. Nobody even acknowledged my joke. I just sat there and I was like, come on, man. That was kind of funny, but nah, man, I guess it didn't rock with anybody. But anyways, go ahead.
Okay, next one. Who is going to get married first? Ray get married first.
River's never getting married unless
I'm never getting married, bro.
Who has the better, or like a playlist? River.
Yeah.
Who is more, or like a competitive? Ray.
100%.
Yeah. Who loves Pepsi more?
Ty.
No, Ray, where's your 2-4?
No, I just smashed the 1 liter, so.
Okay, who's gonna have a kid first?
Ooh. I'm gonna say Riv.
Maybe? I don't know.
And who is more likely to name their kid a junior?
I feel like both of us are gonna.
You guys are funny. Yeah. Those are the questions that I was like, man, I'm gonna ask these guys questions and see what they would come up with.
Yeah, bro, that's amazing, man. We love when the guest gets into it just as much as we do, bro.
We're actually just talking about that too the other night. In our little group chat there, me and Ray and all of us were talking because Cole just had his daughter. Congratulations to our brother Coleslaw on his new baby. Yeah, for sure, bro. But yeah, and then like we're talking about that, and I was like, man, I'm gonna make my kid a junior. He's like, he's gonna be a junior, my firstborn son. And Ray was like, yeah, I'm gonna make mine Raymond the 4th. And I was like, weird. So yeah, words.
The stars are aligning.
Yeah, I gotta name mine the 4th. I'm the 3rd, so hopefully. That's kind of an ego thing. Don't you think that's a little bit of an ego thing to name your kid after you? Like just a bit. You want him to know who you are too, man. I always bug my dad. I'm like, man, you done put your big shoes for me to fill without you even knowing it, man.
Oh, even you, Ray, you have the biggest pressure because you have to keep the name going now. If not, you're going to ruin because it's going to be Ray the 4th.
Yeah, no choice, bro. Man.
Yeah. Putting the pressure on Junior.
Yeah. I know, and I'll have all girls here or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have a chance to have a junior, maybe. Hey.
Yeah, not even, bro. Man, that's That's cool that you did that, bro. I really like that. I think you're very thoughtful like that. Like you always bring something like dynamic, even to just like a conversation or like an interaction. That's something I noticed. Like if you're like, I just want to go. I'll go check this. Like in the last couple of days here. Just gave me a morning text. Asked me about my gym workout or just little things like podcasts. Get sent my podcasts or ask me about how I'm doing. Sends me pictures in the Foxing Around hoodie. Look at you guys. Yeah. Shalen's got his Foxing Around hoodie, so you guys should order one too. But no, it's just really, really amazing, I guess, to have you in my corner and to the way that you've been in my corner. Like we were doing a lot of the same shit, the bad shit together. Going out to the bars. Like I remember that first ever FSIN, bro. I was 15 years old, and who did I see in a bar and bought me a beer after I snuck in? It was you. You were there at Jack's with me. Or the times that we're out, before a soccer game we're drinking or we're doing drugs in the car or all those things. And it was something I did look up to. I modeled my life, not just you, but that idea of, it's cool, man. Look, Shalen can drink. Shalen can do drugs. Shalen can still win. Like we're still, a lot of girls like to talk to Shalen. A lot of girls want to be around, like shit like that. And you buy into that really quickly because you're young and you're impressionable. And, but then, man, when you make that choice and you're the first one that's like, fuck, I'm going to rehab. How many times have I texted you, been like, bro, I want to quit drinking. I want to quit drugs, and you'd always be there no matter what. Yep. I'm learning now how hard that is to be there for somebody, and because they're not ready or they're full of shit that day. They're just feeling sad or hurt or but it's gonna happen again and again. And that moment you went to rehab, you fucking took that burden for all of us. Oh, yeah. You're the first one. Honestly, the first one that I know in my life that was like, I'm going to rehab and came out clean and ready. And man, and now it's like I have somebody that's there to tell me like things that I wish I would have been told, when I was younger. And now I'm the guy that's telling younger people, like it's a domino effect that you've had with like hundreds of people. Like, look, you're schooling, like in the classroom, in soccer, in working out, in everything, man. I think like you're always, one thing I like is that you're humble, but man, your impact is huge, man, monumental. You've changed people's lives by just working on yourself. And you say, oh, I'm just showing up, I'm just doing the little things, but those little things are habits that you've built and you've shown other people how to build them now, man. I can't thank you enough, bro, like for just believing in me and getting me to my points in my life and helping me, picking me up. And shit, man, there's not a lot I can do other than just say thank you so much. And that it shit, you changed my life, bro.
No, thanks for those words, Ray. But at the end of the day, and this is everything you did, it was all you. It was all you. I was just that little support. You're the bigger reason why it was. I was just one of your support systems, and I always will be there, just like everybody else in your bubble. So it's that's what our people are. We have to support each other, and we have to be resilient to each other. We have to challenge ourselves to be better. So but it's doing the little things right. When you're an athlete, and both of you know this as like athletes, it's what do you guys practice? You guys are practicing like the little things over and over and over. You're not learning something real fancy and hard, when you guys are just doing something little basically at practice, but you're just getting better and better and better at it, right? So that's what we're doing as individuals, doing those little things right, because those little things right will make a bigger difference in the long run for all of us. So no, thank you guys for for all those kinds word. Deep down when you guys started this boxing around when it first happened, I was like, I was like, man, I hope they asked me to come on the show, yeah. But at the time, I don't know if I was ready to share the public eye what I was doing, oh, there's a Pepsi there. But yeah, you know what? Lots of people do know my story. It's just it was just more of a one-on-one in a helping sense. But now I get a lot more people reaching out to me and things like that. So it's good. Yeah.
Hold up, River's just taking a drink, but I think he wants to say something.
I want to know how River can drink pop and just stay that in shape, man. When I drink one, I just get bloated to the max. And I drink the little cans.
Bro, honestly, I think high metabolism plays a part.
Yeah.
But I also think that just the fact of like being an athlete, like working out and playing sports for like 2 or 3 hours a day, especially now that it's warm, right? It's summertime. Well, like it's really warm out, so we play grass volleyball for about 4 or 5 hours a day. I think it's just the fact that I burn more calories than I intake per day. So I'm allowed to drink this stuff. Maybe when I hit 30, the metabolism will slow down and I'll get the little belly and I'll have to quit. But like for now, as long as I'm feeling good and like not really tweaking my diet too much, I'm gonna take advantage of it while I'm young.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta. You know what? I'm starting in the gym tomorrow, man. I'm putting it out there. I'll put it to you guys. Shalen's been bugging me, like, send me your workout, send me you at the gym, and I'm like, I'm not ready, but put it out in the world. I'll get it done tomorrow. You'll see me at the gym tomorrow. But you should give a quick shout out to your gym. Tell us what you do there, man. Tell us about all the people, because I know you got a lot of love for them and they're a dope support for you.
Yeah, you know what? One of my biggest places is CrossFit Gym, the North Balford Strength and Conditioning, I think it's called now. I've been going there for 3 years, maybe longer. That's honestly my biggest support. It's not the workouts. The workouts are great, but it's the environment and it's the people that keep me coming back. I know pretty much everybody in there now. And if there's someone is new, I just start talking with them right away. Comment on their shoes or if they need help with anything, because I also remember the first time coming in and trying to just getting in that uncomfortable place, right? So, but lots of the workouts that I do, they're more CrossFit workouts or partner workouts. But man, I can work out with anybody in there. There's a crew of us that are always in there. So I don't really do much of the strength. Like I'm not into the curling and like I do the back squats, and I don't do the deadlifts kind of thing, but I do things that I enjoy. But I'm not lifting super heavy and I'm not chiseled by any means, but I can hold my own too. Right. So, that place gives me, clears my mind. I can spend easily 2 hours in there 7 days a week, but I also know you have to rest your body. I'm starting to get back into running again too, but I don't know how long that will last, just because of running on the pavement in your knees just kind of takes a toll, and I don't really want to. I just think of the longer run in my life, right? So if I get into biking, then I'll get into biking. I'll just be biking for longer rather than the running. So you don't have to go to a gym to do this. I can easily do this stuff at my home. I just don't have the discipline to do it at home. The people that work out at home, now that's discipline. Yeah, I don't have that kind of discipline. I have to be around people and music blasted and things like that. So I enjoy watching people videos. I enjoy what the workouts are, just so I'm like, hey, this is how I can do it, or hey, this is something new, and things like that. So I enjoy all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I see you. Well, I don't see you because I'm still sleeping, but I get like a 6 a.m. text, and I'm like, damn, this guy's already in the lab working out, man. You sure know how to make a guy feel lazy sometimes. In a good way, it's a good push, man. It's a good push, bro. I really enjoy it, man. It's something important, and yeah, I like that. like you said, man, I'm really excited to get you guys out here for Vic next year. You know, like we can start traveling again, moving around, playing soccer again. Like you got guys like Tiffer, that are 30, 38, Cody, all guys that are already so smart that are like in great shape again. You got guys like Joe and Twiz and Delbert, and everyone's just, working out, getting in shape. Lucas, there's so many like guys that are out there, making healthy choices. Scotty, another guy I want to shout out, man. It's so cool to see like everyone starting to get into their fitness goals and just, working on themselves, their life goals even, or just being a better person. And once again, man, I can't stress it enough how much you have a part in to play in that for everybody. Dustin, another guy in here that's, I just gave you a shout out. There's a lot of people that, thank you for putting in that work for us, showing us the way.
It's good. It's good. I'm getting a master's team like already. That's what I trying to revive the 35 plus division.
Man, you're too good to be jumping down with the old guys, man. You got to stay with us for a little bit. 40, and then you can go chill with the old guys. Until then, we need you a little bit longer.
It's fun. You know what? It's I have always looked up to you guys for starting this podcast. I always try and watch live, but if I don't, I always watch it like eventually. And you know what? And the guests are just like amazing. Like Adam Beach to start it off right away was like boom, and then you had like the Ted Nolan right away, and then you have the local stuff, and then you have like the Schimmel girl there, and it's like everybody's stories. It's just amazing to hear. And then when you guys shared who you guys were early on, even that, because I never heard like a River story. Like I always knew who he was, but I never heard his story. Right. So it was always good. I always look forward to this. And I think there's lots of people that look forward to the Foxing Around Sunday night, so you guys keep on doing what you guys doing. Do what makes you guys happy. Follow your guys' passion, and the biggest thing is just continue being who you guys are, because I see you guys on the show. I see you guys in real life. So that's the good thing. You aren't pretending to be something that you're not. So that's what I'm proud of you guys for.
Yeah. That's the best compliment you can give, bro, because that's something me and River have been discussing and talking about, and like just in terms of like, creators or, other podcasters or, and a lot of people, you can feel that authentic self, you can feel them being who they are and like hoping that that's who they are in real life, and so to know that that's coming off and that's the way we are, right? We're not putting on an act. We're not trying to be any different. No. We're just trying to be the same old boys. Maybe we'll clean up our vocabulary a little bit and not tell too many old war stories. But like for the most part, we try to stay the exact same. So that compliment means 100, bro. You know what? We'll tell you because you're a big fan of the show. Usually we wait till the end of the show, but the guy following you, we're really excited about it. I don't even think we told you yet. Maybe I'll let River drop the news on who we got next week.
He has a book, Ray. You could say the rest. Yeah.
So if you guys, maybe you could get his book, Shalen. It's called Crossroads.
Caleb Dolphin.
Yeah, Dahlgren. Yeah.
That was literally my next book in line to buy. That's amazing.
Yeah. So next Sunday, Caleb will be joining us here on the Foxing Around podcast. So.
Oh man, that one's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're looking forward to it. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. He's actually from North Battleford. He went to JP for a little bit. He's not from North Battleford, but he played AAA down there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Saskatoon. He played a AAA here. I remember who he was. Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's the next one. We're looking forward to that. Well, what are we at, man? We're 2 hours and 15 minutes deep, bro. We should probably start to wrap it up a little bit. I'm gonna let you jump on the screen, bro. Man, do your thing, like, and don't like, not that you ever do, but don't hold anything back, because I know there's a message in that you're gonna have that people are really gonna relate to on this one and really feel. So, you speak your truth, brother, and take as long as you need, and then we'll be back here at the end to close it off. But I'll throw you up.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I have my story, just like all of you have your own story. So share it, and be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you've overcome, and be proud of what you have done. You don't always have to talk about the good, and you don't always just have to talk about the bad. You can talk about both of them and be proud. My word for I didn't have a New Year's resolution. I had a word. My word for 2021 is growth. I'm trying to grow in all aspects of life. The three words that I've said earlier, it's my patience, consistency, and positive self-talk are three words that I always follow to. So don't let your past hurt you. Don't think this is going to be the present. And don't always think about the future. Enjoy all aspects of it, because you want to enjoy life, and all of a sudden you realize, and it's 10, 15 years down the road. So enjoy the moments, enjoy the little things in life, because if you're looking for something extraordinary, you're going to miss out on the ordinary. And those ordinary are the things that we are going to miss, whether it's texting your mom, texting your dad, whether it's working out with a buddy, all those little things in life that we take granted for, enjoy them, and continue to do them, because there's lots of people that are out there that are looking up to you guys, and you don't even realize it. So continue to do what you're doing, do what makes you happy, and continue to grow from your past, because that is not you anymore, but you can definitely grow from it, and you can move forward. So thank you guys for listening to myself, and keep supporting the Foxing Around. And yeah, we'll look forward to next week. That's another exciting story. That one, you can see how happy I was, because that one's going to hit close to everybody, with the Humboldt Bronco crash, and he's just from Battleford, and him being from Saskatchewan. I believe he's out in New York or McGill University. So no, that one's going to be good. So thank you guys very much, and you guys have a good, wonderful evening.
Hey, my man, Shalen, I got so much love for you, bro. I can't even put into words like you said. That's the best part about you. You're humble. You don't take credit. You don't let people praise you, which is a really good quality to have. But sometimes people got to tell you anyway. So I can't thank you enough for helping me on some of the darkest things I've ever seen in my life, and knowing that I wasn't alone in those moments. That I had a brother, that I had an older brother, that would look after me and tell me he loved me and show me things that would help me, and just be there, man. Always consistently there for me, man. It's something I'll cherish for the rest of my life, man. I draw strength from you. I draw power from you. I'm proud that we share the same last name, and that we come from the same family, and you have paved the path for me that I know exactly. Look, bro, I want to be exactly like you. I want to be a high level soccer player. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a leader. I want to be you, bro. and that's from you putting in all that hard work and showing me that the path is out there for me, man. So I got a lot of love for you, bro. I'm always grateful every time we can sit down and have a few laughs. And usually it's not as serious as this, we got a little serious, and we talk a little, but sometimes it's just about that camaraderie and that brotherhood, man. So all love from me, bro. Thank you so much for doing this. If you want to come on again too, man, anytime you want, bro. Like, the people love you. We already know that much. So you can come on anytime.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. It's continue to do what you guys are doing, man. Just continue it. Thank you for those words again. Yeah, no, that's all I can say. Just thank you, and I love you both. Proud of you guys both. So tell Thunder I said hello, River. Thunder is one of my favorites at JP of all time. He is one of my favorites that I've always looked up to, and he was always in my room. And Thunder was, yeah, Thunder was real.
Yeah, man, I love that kid, man. That for everybody who doesn't know, that's my nephew. He's like my little brother because he grew up with me, right? He's a couple years younger than me, man. I love that kid, and I love the young man he's turning into, man. He's respectful. He has a job right now, actually. Now, Shalen, he's doing construction out in Saskatoon.
Nice.
He works like 12-hour days. And yeah, he's like little skinny gungers getting some muscles. He sent me a picture this morning. He's like, look, I don't even go to the gym, and he has a little bicep pop going, bro. So yeah, man. Honestly, Thunder is the shit, and I'll tell him, man. Yeah, I just want to say thank you again for coming on, bro. I will be home for the summer, so I'm gonna hit you up to train. I'm gonna hit you up to play golf, man. And send me some of the morning podcasts too, if you don't mind. Because, yeah. I want to listen to those. But I just want to say thanks for coming again, man. It means so much, and thanks for being real, and thanks for allowing me to get to know you more too. Just because I always knew as Shalen the soccer player and Shalen the boys is like older bro and everything, and it really broadened my horizons and opened up my eyes just hearing your story, and it makes you feel that more relatable, and definitely like if you already had me on your side before, but now it's like I'm gonna be watching everything you do, like the police, bro. Yeah, bro. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you guys.
Much love, Shay. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Damn, bro, that was dope. I don't like being the only one on the screen. Hey, Shalen, stick around for a sec if you can. We're just gonna close this off here real fast. Another great episode. If you guys didn't hear, Caleb Dahlgreen, he is a survivor of the Humboldt Broncos crash. He went on to go to school at York University and play varsity hockey there, and as well too, he just finished his book up maybe last month. He released his book Crossroads, the story of Caleb Dahlgreen. So it's going to be dope. It's going to be cool. We're going to have to do it on tape delay though. So when we post the poster, make sure to put your guys' fan questions in there on the poster. So then, because we're going to have a whole section where people can ask him fan questions. So I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. We still do have some merch available, limited sizing, but if you look right behind there, they're sitting there, the grays, the blacks, and we got hats. We'll probably do a hat giveaway this week too.
Yep, hat giveaway this week. Probably like 1 or 2 way.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do 2, one on Instagram, one on Facebook.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. All right. 2 hats. Yeah. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys all the time. Tonight, what is it? Yeah. So in about half an hour, go over to the Indigenous radio show. Go watch Curtis and Chris Standing. They're our boys. They're a father and son duo that sometimes they interview people. Sometimes they're just chilling and talking, but it's always dope. No matter what, they are great. They're very entertaining. They're awesome. Hey, we love you too, Mama. Thank you so much. Go check out Krista's Kilometers for MMIW on Facebook. My mom is walking across Canada like a crazy lady to raise awareness for MMIW.
And she has shirts.
And she has shirts. She's got merch available. Yeah. $20 a shirt. We'll get you her profile picture right there.
And I believe the proceeds go towards the walk, right?
Yeah. The proceeds do. They all go towards the walk. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dustin, for sticking through with us. Walter, thank you for engaging the whole time. Much love to my bro Chunks. There's Tamika. Thank you, Ryan. I see you, bro. Thank you for joining us, man. It's always dope when you guys stick around right till the end. It means a lot to us. So join us next Sunday. after next Sunday, we might do something different for a week or two. We're gonna try it out. We're gonna experiment on you people.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah. I had a joke, but nah, we good.
Yeah. Let's not do that. Well, bro, it's been real. Man, these sessions are always dope because then it feels like I'm just chilling with you again. I can't wait till you get out to the island here. We can just be sitting in the studio all the time. We'll be making videos. It'll be dope.
We'll be doing TikTok dances.
Hell yeah! Y'all better make us some regalia and send it in so we can.
Y'all better get our outfits out of the pawn shop so we can make TikToks again.
All right, man. Much love to everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next Sunday. If y'all can, put on a mask. Throw some hand sanitizer on and
wash your ass.
All right. Much love, everybody. Take care of each other. Peace.